Good morning, good midday, good noontime, good afternoon, good noon 30, good day, good later day, good evening, good night, good midnight, whatever time of day it is. I want you to know, okay, I'm Lynn Ferguson, and I approve this message. I'm Lynn Ferguson, also known as Lynn Tennyson, your host here on the show, Lynn's Bins. It's a podcast dedicated to Black life in America and all over the world in music. So today, we will be discussing many things. I want to get into music and politics. Okay. So I want to mainly focus on Drake and Kendrick and the whole beef with the situation with that. And this is not going to be a big breakdown of that whole situation or anything. It's going to be more of an overall observation of the community, things that I am more equipped with being able to deal or discuss. And then we're also going to tie that into politics and the current state after the reelection of Donald Trump. Want to know more? Will you just sit back, relax? Why don't you grab a snack and let's jump in? Lynn's Vince. So you guys, you gals, you people. It's a lot going on. I'm in the middle of doing my hair, so I don't know if you'll see anything. You might not the whole video. I might have just exposed myself for no reason. But here we go. So I want to start with this whole Kendrick Lamar situation. So there are a lot of guys out here who first I want to talk about the Andrew Schulz and the Kendrick situation. I did mean to watch a video seeing that Kendrick finally actually, you know, himself responded to the situation, to the horrible things that Andrew said recently, claiming that he wanted to rape him. I don't do that YouTube shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they want to clip my video, I don't make money off of this shit right now anyway. So they can clip me all they want. We ain't playing them games over here. We don't censor things that don't need to be censored over here. This is an uncensored channel. I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, so we do uncensored over here. But what do you call it? It's just weird. It's very weird to see a grown white man out here using his racial privilege to fantasize about raping a black man, about buck breaking a black man. And if you don't know what buck breaking is, everybody should know by now because there have been all these butthurt men all over the internet talking about how could Andrew Schulz make a buck breaking joke? That's just not funny, dude. I don't get the joke. I find them funny every other time. I just don't get the joke. This ain't funny. You don't running. Okay, whatever. I mean, so first let me stick to why I don't like that Andrew said what he said. Okay, so Andrew saying what he said. I mean, I'm not surprised because I've been saying this for the longest, and people keep acting like I'm crazy. And I guess it took this election for people to finally realize that yes, you're not a bad person if you talk about race. If you talk about racial issues, you might just be a person trying to resolve those racial issues. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? For your demographic, other demographics, who knows? You could very well be. So, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, he is a white man with the history of buck breaking. If you don't know what that is, it was basically, breaking in the ass of a black man or boy. Don't be fooled. It was also children being put through this. Basically, men and boys being raped by. It was the same thing that they were doing to women and girls. It's known as rape with women and girls because whether it's anal or vaginal, it's still known as rape because women are seen as it's seen as something that women are supposed to endure or you know not necessarily, even if you don't necessarily believe that women are supposed to be raped, you believe that because women are, because you see women in a certain way, you believe that this is more of a natural thing for a woman to go through, instead of seeing it as just as equally unnatural for both parties. Obviously, yes, it is unnatural for a dude who doesn't participate in, anal sex, at least not with his anus. You know what I'm saying? It is going to be a different situation when you've been penetrated for the first time, in a forcible situation, especially. But so, of course, I understand that there's a difference, but the difference, we're talking about the difference between being violated. Like, who's accustomed to being violated? So, I don't really see a reason to make such distinctions, but, it is what it is. But anyway, the guys making these, and bug breaking was used by slave owners of enslaved people, Black people in America, it was said to have been a way to keep the race in line, the slaves in line, because, if the men are being done this way, then, there's nothing you can do because your men are the strongest that you are. But it's like, number one, it wasn't always the case with African tribes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Africa is the number one place in the world with female leadership. So there are more places with female leadership and leaders in Africa than anywhere else in the world. So it's not necessarily the case, but we see what you're doing with that. We see where you're going with that. The whole thing just basically comes down to, in my opinion, this is just stuff that they wanted to do. I don't care how much you want to control your enslaved people. You're not going to rape a man if you are not wanting to rape a man. Does everybody agree? Like, you're not gonna rape a man if you don't like men. Like me, for instance, I don't like women. I love women. I just don't like women, sexually, and I'm not attracted to women like that. I would never rape a woman, even if I wanted to hurt her in the worst way possible. I would never rape a woman. And I've got the equipment. If you needed to know, I'm not raping women out here. Like, what are we talking about? Ew. Could I even, let me put myself in the same shoes as Andrew, I guess, in this moment. Could I even get it up? Is what he said. But, like, I'm not attracted to women at all. So, like, it would physically be a problem. There would be a lot of difficulty accomplishing that, if that was even a goal of mine. So it's like, you have to be attracted to men and to boys, to little boys, if you're able to do that. So I don't know why everybody keeps, whenever people talk about this, nobody really says anything about that. No one really speaks about how this was something that they clearly wanted to do, because, you got to be attracted to women and girls to rape a woman or a girl. Same thing as with a man or a boy. So if you're running around here raping Black boys and men, I'd say you like to do that. But anyway, so that's what they would do. That's part of the long and disgusting history of enslavement of Black people in America. And it's actually a very, very major vestige of slavery, or trial of slavery, hardship that was endured, torture. But what's it called? Andrew being able to joke around about something like this, and being able to, Andrew Schulz is this white dude who everybody's saying he's a comedian. So, everybody's saying he's a comedian. So, that's what he thinks he's trying to allegedly pass this off as, when really it's just obviously his way of, like, getting his rocks off about, his passive aggressions, and major direct aggressions against Black people. Like, it's very obvious. And just seeing his cronies on the bench or the couch, whatever it is, laughing at his jokes. Like, the only guy who doesn't laugh incessantly is the white dude in the middle, because he's white and he knows he doesn't have to laugh at everything that this dude does, especially since he's a blonde white dude who I guess would rank higher on the, hierarchy of whiteness and Aryan nation, I mean, higher than Hitler Schulz over there, but Adolf Scholz. But Andrew Hitler, Adolf Hitler. But yeah, so it's just crazy because it's just like that you want to joke about this type of stuff, and that you are allowed as a white man to joke about things like this. You don't lose sponsorships. People aren't on your ass about this. Where are the white feminists at? Where is everybody at? Where the Me Too motherfuckers at? It is what it is. But one thing I want to talk about with this situation as well, because we already know he's white, he's privileged, he's going to be able to do things like this and get away with it. One of the things that I don't like is that Black men have a chance to respond to this, and they're taking it and saying all the wrong things. They're saying things like, oh, this wasn't funny, but I think he's funny. I just want to say, I challenge you to find a Black man talking about this, and within the first 5 to 10 minutes, have him not say, hey, wait, let me get this straight. I think he's funny. I think he's funny. I guarantee you would be hard pressed. You will be hard pressed to find that if you go out and try to see it. It's almost non-existent. It might be non-existent. I'm sick of it. Like, I mean, I'm looking at all these Black men. Is that what they are? I'm looking at all these Black men who are unable to condemn a white dude for saying that he want to rape them. You got white men out here who think that they can say and apparently do things like this to you. Because, I mean, if they can say things like this to you and you don't make no fuss about it, it kind of says to me, shit, I'm not even him. I'm not this racist, grown, white, racist motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it says that you kind of into that shit. That he might be able to convince you to do something like that. Put your legs in the air and just figure out what position. He'll let you pick the position and everything. And I think this is a great metaphor of how Black men are in rap today. Like, y'all let anybody up in your motherfucker up in this bitch. You'll give him the crown, snatch it right off the head of the greatest Black whoever, and put it on a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Eminem. Or you'll put it on a biracial Canadian Drake. Now, if you like Canadian bacon better than regular bacon, by all means. But we eat regular pork bacon over here. We're not eating ham. Only. Only. I'll eat some ham. I eat you for breakfast. And it's just weird to me because it's just like, okay, so like this is why we're in the situation with Drake, like, and Kendrick. Like, you crowned a dude who was talking about Yeti, mom spaghetti, talking about raping and killing his wife, doing the same thing, I'm pretty sure, to his mom. Maybe subtract one of those. I don't know. I don't remember. I know it was some wild shit. I know it's some wild shit. Every time I heard an Eminem song when I was a kid, it was some wild shit. And don't get me wrong, he's been very impactful. He's very talented. I'm not going to deny that. You don't have to be the best of the best to be talented as shit. He's talented. He's definitely got a way of making music. I wouldn't say that he's the best rapper of anything, of any category of rap, but he's definitely a very good talent. There's a difference. You're not going to convince me that, you know, I can't even think of any of his lyrics right now. Shit, let me see. Where's that one? Where are those lyrics he had about the black girl? Black girls that, oh my goodness, I just messed up my doggone comment. I was on a video ready to leave a whole bunch of comments. I leave this comment I was building it so well, and now it's gone. So I'm gonna say like this: don't date a black girl. Take it as a diss if you want, but if you don't, I'm gonna tell you like this: I surely won't. Never date a black girl because blacks only want your money, and that shit ain't funny. Y'all be really pissing me off when I be doing that, when I push the back button on a fucking video and I'm like, I got all these comments in here. Like, it took me so long. It was a video about the thing I want to talk about that led me, kind of what inspired me to finally just go ahead and do this video that I've been wanting to do for the longest. Talking about TYT crumbling and how they are, on some fucking grift right now, major grift. Moving further to the right, and it's just ridiculous. And first Anna was attacking trans people, now she's attacking black people. I mean, she already was attacking everybody, but like, it's more focused on black people now because she's being called out by some former hosts and of the show and employees of the show and stuff like that. But anyway, it's just crazy because it's just like, this man has talked about Aaliyah. He's talked about Beyonce. He's talked about Michael Jackson. I mean, he clowned the hell out of Michael Jackson. The first songs that I was introduced to him through were those songs. One of them was, I mean, literally just clowning the hell out of Michael Jackson. A man who, to this day, all of these years after his death, still has more followers and believers than Eminem. Yet he believes he could talk about somebody like that. And this is despite the fact that, we have had people come out and, time and time again, there was never a case that was won against him proving that he did any of those things he was accused of. He was never a rapist. He's never a pedophile. And on top of that, the boys who said that shit came out and said that they lied when I was a kid. And then as an adult, I got to see it right before my eyes, them coming out here, Oprah's platform, and these motherfuckers and all kinds of shit. The parents couldn't even be around because they knew his ass was lying. The other one, his parents made him lie. Like, it's just crazy. It's just like, so, I mean, this is what they do. This is what they do to our greats. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is what y'all get with this R. Kelly and Bill Cosby shit. P. Diddy. Y'all are real quick to defend them, but you don't want to defend Michael Jackson. Most people condemned Michael Jackson. We did not defend Michael Jackson. Even though it is quite clear that he was getting his catalog from Sony and all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? He had already gotten it. There was clear motive for why they wanted to take that man down. And they did it time and time again. They tried time and time again and could not do it. But y'all didn't stand up for Michael because he was different and because he was more feminine than and misunderstood than a P. Diddy character or some other misogynist who was in your face fucking misogynist. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You got people out here. I mean, we see Diddy over here beating the shit out of Cassie, and there are still people out here defending him. We saw Megan bleeding from her feet as she fucking walked on bullets. Free Tory, they say. But Michael Jackson, we didn't see him do shit. To the day he died, we didn't see him do shit. We never saw him doing drugs. We never saw him hit somebody or anything like. We've never seen him do any of these things. The worst we saw him do was hold that damn baby out. Yeah. And then did you see Janelle Monáe come up and do the same thing recently? Yeah. A mess. A mess. But yeah, it's just ridiculous to me. But I mean, I guess we can move over to this whole fucking Trump situation. But before we move over to this politics situation, I just really need to say I'm very disappointed in Black men. I'm just very disappointed. I did not expect so many of you all to allow a white man to talk shit about you like this and to be so up white people's asses that you were not able to call him out fully with no equivocations. You know what I'm saying? Unequivocally call that mofo out and be like, hey, we ain't playing them games over here. Like, I mean, I know you over here dreaming about, because he was explicit. He went on for like minutes. He at least talked for about 5-10 minutes about wanting to get in Kendrick's booty. What about that is funny? What about digging in somebody who you don't have consent to? What about that is funny? What I guess it would be funny to him, his kind of character and the other character who put him on in the first fucking place, Charlemagne, Leonard, whatever the fuck his name is. I'm gonna call him Leonard, like Monique. Leonard sitting up there talking about some and who calls himself a god, and then it's in capital. Like, isn't his name? Isn't it in capital letters? I don't know. I know the G is capital, obviously, but like that's insane. Like, who you got to be on some shit. There's clearly something going on if you're out here fucking calling yourself the God. The God? Oh no. I never wanted to call him that. I said I would never. I never will, bitch. Not me. But anyway, now that I know his name, Leonard is what he will be. So Leonard fucking put his ass on in the first place, and we know he got a case against him. We know he got claims against him. His ex talking about some, he raped her. So it's not surprising that you put on a white dude who's joking about rape. And he's joking about raping Black men. Like, so it's like, what the fuck? Like, what you really into, Charlatan? Like, ain't nobody got time for it. Like, it's just disgusting. And it's just like, I'm so sick of seeing people out here, like, talking about trans people, talking about gay people, talking about this, talking about that. You talking about all these people and how all of this is so horrible, but your favorite rapper is a crossdresser as an alter ego. Anita Max Win. Crossdresser. Crossdresser. But y'all don't want to hear shit from a trans woman who raps, sings 8 languages. No, couldn't possibly. Couldn't possibly. But you want to hear from old dude who's booked his next tour, his Anita Max Win cross-dressing tour, cross-dressing toddler tour, in Australia, where the age of consent, I believe, is 15 or 16. Yep. You can legally agree to sexual activities and behaviors at the as young as 16 years old in Australia. It is the same thing in the UK, I'm fairly certain. You can not only smoke cigarettes at like 14, 15, 16, but that's around the same age that you're also an adult legally in the UK, which is insane. It's just insane. I mean, they literally said, oh, okay, well, you starting to look older. Oh, okay, go on ahead. Let him drink. Like, it's insane. But, I mean, it's just ridiculous to me because, like, before I leave this issue, I just need to say, because it's just like, it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting to me to see how many black men are just like, how do you have the nerve to be butthurt about this? How do you have any nerve to be upset about this whatsoever? And you let this man say this. You're watching his content. What do you find about Andrew Schulz funny? What are you name me your favorite joke? Go ahead and tell me, drop your favorite. If you come across this video, drop your favorite joke by Andrew Schulz in the comment section. Please. But y'all are mad. You have the nerve to be mad that a white dude is out here joking about raping you. Well, who wouldn't? You've clearly shown that you're not that type to do anything about it. You do understand, like, these are the things we learn when we're young, right? Like, you learn that if you get punked out, you got to do something. Otherwise, they will continue to punk your ass out for eternity. You know that, right? So white men have realized that black men won't do shit. Why? Well, number one, because you won't protect your own women who were on this same man's podcast being fucking ridiculed. They weren't on the podcast, but they were, being ridiculed when he had two other black motherfuckers on the podcast laughing about black women and how disgusting they are or evil or mean and how I mean, so much so that men's hairlines recede when they're with them. He was so upset at hearing that a white man could be bettered by being with a black woman that he went there with it. Mm-mm-mm. Y'all a mess out here. A mess. But this is what happens. I mean, like, you let him talk about our women. You didn't really do nothing to defend our women. And now he's talking about raping y'all. He's talking about raping y'all. Like, he said he ain't even gonna talk about y'all. He's just gonna talk about raping y'all. Like, that's how much he loves him some black men. That's what you get for defending his ass. He wants you now. I want you. And I'm gonna have you. Like, whatever the fuck that motherfucker said. You know what I'm talking about. That's what he's giving. That's what he's giving. So it's wild to me. I'm disappointed because it's just like, I feel like I shouldn't even care about this just because y'all don't care. You know? What are y'all talking about? Like, if this is how y'all defend yourselves, then I can see why we don't have no protection out here. Because shit, like, motherfuckers coming up trying to act like I mean, I guess you was just gonna get raped, huh? I guess you was just gonna get raped. Sure. I feel like a woman would have made it out that situation before a black man. The way they out here talking about y'all and y'all letting them, it's ridiculous. And it's not. It'd be one thing if y'all just ignored it and didn't deal with it, but it's like you sat here and acknowledged it. You mad, you flipping shit, but then you want to say he's funny. You just went too far with this one and this, that, and the third. What? I'm not giving no compliments to anybody who says he wants to rape me, and I'm a woman. What the fuck would you? Why would you do that? And they be saying we confused about who he is and all this. Bitch, I ain't confused about that. I ain't confused about rape. So, moving on. Black men get it together. Um, sloppy mess. Um, politically. I am sick of people out here being on people's cases for voting third party and not being for Kamala. People were not, and it was a lot of shit going on out here, y'all. It was a lot of shit going on, and I'm gonna talk about it right now. Number one, her name. I still get mixed up between Kamala and Kamala. Now I have gotten it better now because I've really made it a point to work on it, and I've had enough time with her name, whatever. But it's like the bitch just started running for fucking president 30 days before she was supposed to be elected. And you expected everybody to know her name in 2 seconds. We didn't want her ass before. Did you forget? Did you all forget we didn't want her before? Okay? Nobody's taking the time to learn about a candidate we don't even fucking like. You know what I'm saying? We were forced to take this candidate, and now you're blaming us because we didn't uphold democracy with a fucking bullshit ass candidate who was making everybody fall asleep. Bitch, I've never fallen asleep with politics before in my life. Even when I was a kid, I didn't fall asleep watching politics, and I didn't really watch it back then. But like the few times I did, I wouldn't fall asleep. She had me falling asleep. I had to change the channel on that bitch. And then she mismanaged her campaign in debt. How y'all over here bragging about raising the most money in history in a presidential campaign or bid, but y'all also are in the most debt in history. Like, what? Don't explain that away. You can't explain that away. If you make the most money in history, then you should have been the most managed. You should have been managing that money. So now y'all in the hole. Bitches is looking stupid. Rolling roly-poly over here, talking to Roland Martin, talking about some. Well, all they gave me was $350,000. What the fuck did you get $350,000? You got a fraction of $1,000,000 for speaking with Kamala. See, now I'm fucking it up again. For speaking with Kamala. Oh, but that's what I was gonna say about her name. You all were making it seem like people were being racist by messing her name up. I am Black. I'm more Black American than she is because I'm a foundational Black American. She's not. Foundational means foundations of this country. Not just 2 seconds ago or in your lifetime. No. You were born here. No, that's not foundational. That's American. That's not foundational Black American. But you know, like I don't know what I'm saying. You have people out here like making it seem like it was either misogyny, it was racism, it was some reason that people didn't pronounce her name right. And I will commend a lot of people did allow you to say a lot of y'all to say these things, and they took it with stride. But it was dumb. It was really dumb. It doesn't have to just be that people. It doesn't have to be that people are discriminating against her because and that's why they're not saying her name right. Some people just have problems with names that they just learn. Like, I mean, can we not? Have you ever heard that name from anybody else before? No. Most of us have not. So can we have a moment? Can we take a moment to learn this woman's name? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's really not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal. There are people's names who get mispronounced all the time, and don't nobody say nothing about that. Y'all be botching it, butchering and botching motherfuckers' names up all over the motherfucking place. Ain't nobody got time for it. Anyway, but yeah, that shit was pissing me off. It was like every attack against her was oh, it was racist. It was this. It was that. It's like, what? No, bitch. She just isn't good. She's not good at what she's doing. Her policies are shit. Where's Medicare for all? Real Medicare, where you get covered. You have actual coverage. You know what I'm saying? Where's the medical coverage? Where is where is the minimum wage? Why is no one running on bringing the minimum wage up for the first time in 4 or 5 fucking decades? There's no reason that for double my lifetime, almost, these fucking wages have been the same. Can you imagine what the fuck you could get with 7.20 fucking 5 in the 80s? Can you imagine what you could get with 7.25 in the fucking 80s? When houses cost $1,900 fucking dollars? You get a house for $19,000. You can't even get a house for $500,000. Do you know how much bread costs when minimum wage was $7.25 for the first time in the 80s? You know how much bread costs? 20-30 cents. Milk was like at most $2 and some change. $2.15, $2.16. Fucking thing of bread. Fucking a thing of eggs was fucking or excuse me, a thing of hot dogs was like fucking I don't know, fucking 10 cents, 50 cents. You could actually go to the store and get food. You could actually go and get food. Baby, back in the day, you could literally you could work for 1 hour, make $7.25, and if you was a stoner, you'd be set for the week. You'd have enough to get you some groceries for at least the next day or two, few days. Groceries for the week, and you could probably go and get you some green. But you got these bitches out here talking about some, these older bitches in Gen X and above talking about, oh, nobody wants to work. They don't want to work. These people don't want to work. This, that, and the third. Shut the fuck up, leeches. You all suck this system dry. You lived a life that we can't even imagine. We can't even imagine what life you all lived. You all were living in a time where your houses cost 4 or 5 times less than they cost right now. At least. And you're telling us that we don't want to work when we're getting the same amount of money and house costs have skyrocketed, housing costs, living expenses, everything, groceries, everything is substantially high. Gas, everything is substantially high. $50 at the grocery store on what? Hot dogs? And ramen? You gotta be getting hot dogs, ramen, and maybe one thing of chicken. $50, baby, you might not even be able to get that thing of chicken. $50 used to be able to get you some shit. You used to be able. Now I will be honest. I did go to the store today, and I don't know how I went to the store and got some. I spent $50, and got at least enough to last me like maybe a week or less, a little bit less. I was very surprised, but $50 don't get you nowhere nowadays. $50 most likely will get you, like I said, maybe a couple packs of meat. That's about it. Get you all your cleaning supplies for the week, for the month. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I'm gonna leave it at this. I really am sick of a lot of this shit going on. And but I will say that I think that it's a good thing that that the election went the way that it did, because like I said, more people are talking about these racial issues and the dichotomy of it all, instead of like, just being content with what's going on. Sometimes you got to let everybody get discontent with what's going on before they make a change. But I'm Lynn Ferguson, also known as Lynn Tennyson, your host here on the show, and I welcome you next time. We jump in Lynn's Mix.